In this
Yeah.
week's Rambam Shiur, Rabbi Bar-Hayim was talking about an archaeological site that he went to uh, that was settled by Jews in the Talmudic or post-Talmudic era.
Yes.
And there's some under the main synagogue. There's an escape tunnel that they used to run away from the Ishmaelite raiders. So I thought there was an
When's this
interesting
from?
uh, Talmudic era, around probably 600s, 700s.
Very interesting. Okay,
So
I
I
just
thought
saw
that
the shear was posted an hour ago on YouTube, so I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I thought there was some sort of interesting asymmetry between how the two different cultures use tunnels. We use it to escape from the raiders, while they use it to attack us, which I thought was very
Yeah.
characteristic of the differences.
Yes. The Jews don't think of cowardly ways to attack their enemies. They just, and they don't even attack. It's a problem. Uh, you know what else I've been seeing? They're talking about all these tunnels that exist between Egypt and Gaza, and also Gaza's full of tunnels. New York City, let's say take Manhattan. You look on a map. What do you notice about the shape of Manhattan on the map? Actually, let me stop sharing this on the screen. I want to show everybody something over here. Look at this, Manhattan. Here's a map of Manhattan. Anybody been to Manhattan before?
I've been there for a few hours of my life.
Okay. So Manhattan is the main city part, the most recognizable city part of New York City. This is interesting. This is the island of Manhattan. The island of Manhattan is surrounded by the East River and the Hudson River over here, and it's kind of straight. It's almost a straight edge along Manhattan. See, straight almost. Here, there are large parts that have been pretty straightened out. It's supposed to be a natural formation of an island, but it's been basically evened out along the edges. And there's actually highways that run along those edges of Manhattan. This is the West Side Highway, the East Side Highway, the Harlem River Drive, or now they call it something else. They changed its name. No, it's still the Harlem River Drive. Manhattan's very smooth edged when you look at it from the air. How did that happen? How were they able to do such a thing? And the answer is landfilling, not garbage landfilling. But if you look over here, Manhattan itself is very hollowed out. There are tons of subway tunnels, many of which are already out of service, but Manhattan is very hollow. It's a bedrock mountain, and there are many places where you just dig it. They've dug into the ground hundreds of feet, and there are many streets that you walk around in Manhattan where you're really just walking on the roof of a building. It used to be ground level, but it's no longer that way. So, for example, when we're in Upper Manhattan, and where YU's campus is over here in Washington Heights, these areas, there's I-95 goes underneath these gigantic apartment buildings, right? Amsterdam Avenue is hollow underneath, and so is I-95 over here. It's amazing how much they took out. So that was a lot of dirt they dug out, dirt and rock, and they put it along the edges of the island in order to fill in the edges and make usable land space over here. Okay, so when you dig out tunnels, let's say under Gaza, you're going to have to take trucks and trucks of the dirt and the rocks, the ground that you're taking out. Correct? You have to do such a thing. Even around here, you can see we have a mountain across the way over there that's artificial. Why? Because they had to chop away mountain over here. And all over the place, you see these gigantic earth movers, a gigantic, basically a jackhammer on a truck, and it's destroying mountains, and they got to move it somewhere else. So the Gazans were obviously hollowing out Gaza and making gigantic piles of dirt and stuff. Where'd all that go? The Great Escape, Shawshank Redemption. Even someone tunneling out of prison has to put the dirt somewhere, right? So you'd think that someone would have noticed that, hey, there are large piles of dirt. I don't know. Has anybody looked at Google Earth or whatever it is? You would see these trucks hauling out day after day, year after year, large quantities of dirt. Where did it all end up? Are there mountains of dirt in Gaza now? Do they push it across the border to Egypt and then they have to see it? By the way, when you do such a thing like this, it's not worth it because you're dealing with something that's so massive. It's not worth it to move the dirt that far away, which is why when they hollowed out Manhattan, for example, they just put the dirt along the edges of the island in order to even out the edges of the island. They didn't take these loads of dirt all the way, I don't know, to where they dump their garbage now, like Virginia and the Carolinas and places like that, right? So did anybody notice this? I don't know. Maybe I'm not I never took out binoculars and looked at this, but this is something that you shouldn't have missed.